it's Kassy with Kassy's Parlor, and today we're going to make a really fun project using some beautiful Halloween products from the Maker's Movement. So the first thing we have is the Forest Frame die set. It's a 3-piece die, and I'll show you here. It's got the outline cutting die, the inner die that has this beautiful owl and the trees, and then this moon here also cuts is a separate die. I'm leaving it together because I love the placement of it, but you could definitely separate that and use it individually. So that is the main die we're going to work with today. And then they also have some 6x6 paper, and wow, is all I really can say for this. This is the first paper pad I've had from the Maker's Movement, and I'm really in love with it. It's 6x6, it's double-sided, there's 24 double-sided sheets, and the reason I am so wowed by it is because, well, the patterns are really amazing. I'll flip through and show you the different patterns that you get. Just to give you an idea, there's toilet paper in this one. And like, you know, the trick-or-treat bowl with the hand coming out and a jack-o'-lantern and stuff. It's really cool. The splatters, I mean, how cool would that be to use like as a background on a card or something. I love these googly eyes. Aren't they cool? So the other thing I love about this, whoa, it's come apart because I'm using some and I just can't stop using it. But the other really cool thing I love, the patterns are amazing, but look it's shiny. It's not super shiny, but it's got a little bit of a gloss finish, and the paper is super thick. I mean, like, really, really good, high quality cardstock here. So I'm really excited to use this. And of course, Halloween is my favorite holiday. So yay, when I got this pad in the mail, I got super excited about it. I love the googly eyes. We're not using them today, but man, I think that might be my favorite one. But there's so many good ones. I also really, really love the, oh, where is it? Hold on. This one. Look at this. Oh my goodness. How cool is that? So yeah, I'll be using this for something too. All of them are really great, but you know, always have a favorite. So actually, I'll put this right there. And then these are the pieces we're going to use today. We are going to make a lantern sort of thing, or like a large we are going to make a large votive holder. A pretty large one, actually. It's about 5 3/4 square. So it's pretty large. It'll be a nice centerpiece maybe for a mantle or a table or anywhere you're decorating for Halloween. It will be very cool. But we're going to use these papers today, and I've got 2 of them. And then I've just got some purple cardstock in different shades of purple that we're going to use for the sides and the top of the votive holder. Okay, so let me put the things that we're not using aside, and then we will start cutting out our pieces. So I've got the crossover 2, and I am going to need to cut out of the pattern paper and of the darker purple paper. So there's 2 pieces that are exactly the same size. I've scored and cut them already, so you don't have to watch me do that. But they are 6 by 12, and then I scored at 5 3/4, so that it leaves me a little 1/2 inch sort of lip here that we're going to put the adhesive on, and then we did it twice so we can create like a box, and we've got a lid for it. Okay, so that's that. So we're going to need to cut into that as well. So 1 piece at a time here. All right. So I've got my cutting plates. I'm just going to move this over a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so first pass, we are going to cut the inner part of the die, which has all of the detail, the branches and the moon and the owl, and that is going to go right into the purple paper. Okay, I think I need a little more space on my table here. Okay, so let's get these 2 purple pieces out. Now it is going to be cut out of all 4 sides so that you have a really cool luminary thing. So I am going to cut it out of 2 pieces at a time, and there's going to be a lid on this, so I want to, hold on, let me make sure. We'll go this way. I want to make sure this is not perfectly centered, but just a little bit lower than center, okay? And here we go. And just kind of in the middle. Now notice I'm not using the outer cutting piece because I don't want to cut this out of here. I just want to cut the shape into the box, okay? So there we go. We are going to use a little bit of mint tape. This is just low tack tape, just to make sure it's going to stay in place and not move around, because we really need it to be in a specific place. All right, so then I'm going to flip this over, leave that metal mat there, and we want this to cut up into our cutting mat. All right, so we've got 2 layers of paper, remember. And we'll just run it through. Out the owl shapes and the branches on all 4 pieces. And now I want to mat these on top of it, but have just that oval shape cut out so that we can mat this around this piece. But to do that effectively, I need to know where to cut it out. So I am going to do one at a time, since they could possibly be just a little different. I'm going to mat this the way I want it to be when it's finished, which I should set that down. Just leaving a little border around each side, and then I'm going to stick this down with my tape to hold it in place there, okay? Then I'm going to flip this over, and I'm just going to take a pencil, anything will do. I'm just trying to get an okay sort of outline, okay, of the edge, so I can get an idea about where to put my die. So I'm just going to the edges where I can fit it, and then I can get an idea of how to, where to place this so that it will cut out properly and give me a good border. So it's going to cut out, so it's going to be like this with the paper all around it. Okay, so I'm going to cut this first one, so I'm going to cut the first one, and it's also okay to, I realize I have this on the back side of the paper I'm going to use, and that's okay, because this is just an oval, and it's going to give me the same border either, whichever way I put it. Sorry. Okay, so I'm looking for those lines. I'm lining this up so it gives me a little bit of a border. There might be a better way to do this too, but this is what I am going to do. And then we're going to run it through. And we'll do this 4 times to get all of the frames. And you see here, I've cut through the opposite side I'm lining up my border around the edge here, and I also have a great border in the middle. So isn't that going to be cool? And I left a little bit more purple on top there because we're going to have a lid. So the three, really just have to worry about those three sides matching up. And now we've got this cool frame around our owl piece. Okay, so I will do that for the rest of the borders. And then you have actually, before I do that, I just want to show you, you have this really awesome oval that you can use either side, and you can mat and layer. You can use this on another card or another project or something, and we're going to have 4 of them. So definitely don't waste any of your cardstock. Use all the parts. Okay, so now we have all the pieces cut out. We are ready to start assembling. And look at this. After cutting them out, I have all of these awesome ovals that I can use for different projects. So I'm super excited about this too, because again, I told you how much I love this paper. So I just can't wait to make more things. All right, so now I'm going to just use a really strong tape runner. And I am going to assemble, start assembling my project. So I'm going to start with the matting and layering. And you could use red liner tape here, or any kind of double-sided tape, or any strong double-sided adhesive would be fine. You could even use like tacky glue if you prefer to use a wet adhesive. Anything that you have in your stash or that works for you would be great. You just want something that's fairly strong, because this is going to be standing up. It's going to be sort of on display, hopefully, and you don't want it falling apart. That would be bad. All right, so let's put this side on, and I'm going to build both of these the same way, so they'll have the 2 different patterns on each panel piece, and these will be built the same way. I mean, man, I could do this too. Like, I don't know if it doesn't line up right this way, but that's a really cool paper. There's just so many cool papers here. Lots and lots of opportunities for fun projects with this paper pad. All right, just make sure you get a good amount of adhesive on here. There we go. I love these skeletons though. They are very cool. Okay, so just going to do this to both of these pieces, and then we will move on. Okay, so now before we assemble our box, we're going to flip these over, and we are going to add vellum on the inside. So that is going to help protect all of these pieces, so they're kind of like, they kind of stick up. There's a lot of little intricate parts to this, so it's going to help all of that kind of stay flat, and it's also going to create that eerie sort of luminescence feeling to this votive when we're done. So I'm going to be using this gold vellum. Can you see how shimmery and shiny it is? And I just think this is going to look fantastic behind this owl here and this whole scene. It's just going to give it that much more. It's going to elevate it, I think. So I'm really excited about this gold vellum. Cannot wait to use it. I use it a lot for like Christmas type stuff, or weddings or things like that. It's really beautiful, but man, on a Halloween background, it's going to be amazing. Okay, so now I have 4 pieces of gold vellum cut out, and they really just need to cover that area, okay? So what I'm going to do is use a tape pen that has just a bunch of little dots that come out of it so that it doesn't leave any gunky like tape or glue or whatever in between these open areas of the intricate die. And I'm going to use a piece of scrap paper underneath just to catch any excess bits of glue that might flow around. So if you're using a tape gun like this, or anything that has this kind of little dots that come out of it, whatever brand it is, I would recommend using a piece of scratch paper underneath, but also just take your time and do it slow, because if you try to go through this quickly, you could still kind of rip some of these branches, and you want to make sure that you don't lose any part of your image here. And then I would go right around the edge of this oval, okay? And then I'll take my not stronger, they're both really strong, but the full line adhesive, and even go around that. So I make sure that there's plenty of adhesive on here and that this is going to stick down all over it. Okay, and then I'm just going to center it, make sure it's completely hidden, and then just stick it down. And it's okay if you have a little extra hanging off the side. This isn't going to touch anything else. So we really just want to make sure that the adhesive is stuck all over the vellum. And then if we flip it over, ooh, look at this. Okay. Okay, and then if we flip it over, look at this awesome gold vellum on here. See how it shines? And with a candle behind here, it's going to look really amazing. So super excited for this. All right, I'm going to keep flipping because you definitely want to use a clean surface for the next one, because you don't want all of the little sticky dots that ended up on that paper. When you stick your new piece down, those are just going to stick to your cardstock, and you don't want that to happen. So just get a new fresh area and do it again. We're going to do all 4 of these ovals the same way. Okay, so now all 4 of my pieces have the gold vellum behind it, and it looks stunning, if I may say. That piece just needed to... And all of these little branches and stuff are laying flat and nice against that vellum, and it looks really great. Let me just show you up close. Isn't that something? Look at that pretty vellum in there. I'm super excited to get this put together. Okay, so the next step is just to build it now. We've got all of the elements here. So for this step, I would highly recommend a very strong adhesive, like a red liner tape, or some really strong double-sided adhesive. Whatever you have that's really strong that you use for like box construction or making envelopes or any 3D type projects, that's what I would use here. All right, so now I'm just going to put this red liner tape. I'm putting it as close to the scored line as I can so that it is nice and put together. You'll see what I mean when we do it. If I put it further on this side, or if you have a wider piece, you can do that too. But the closer the tape is to this scored line, you're not going to have it like lifting at all near that edge. It's going to stay nice and tight and adhered beautifully. So if you have a slightly thinner red liner tape like I'm using here, that's what I would recommend. And I like red liner tape because it's super strong, but then, you know, you can also kind of unroll it like this and move it around. And this one I'm not getting quite as close as I would like. There we go. All right, super strong. Okay, so now I like to give it a good burnish so that I can't see any lightness in that red liner type. It makes it pulling it off a lot easier. All right, so I'm going to just do one of them for now and just get your nail under there, or, you know, pokey tool helps too, or an awl or whatever, something like that if you don't have any fingernails. But as long as you burnish it down, you shouldn't have any problem getting it to come up here. Okay, so I'm going to lay this flat, and I am just going to line up this edge with the seam here, or with the, I said the seam. I guess what I meant was the, and we're going to make sure it's nice and straight. Sorry, with the scored edge. That's what I was concentrating. I forgot to tell you that. Okay, so then I'm going to fold it in half and just really give it a good burnish there to make sure that we're good. All right, so it's going to stand nicely, and then we'll just do the same thing with this other side. Lift off that red liner. The other thing, that red liner likes to stick to you, or, you know, stick to whatever, because it's very staticky. I find if you just fold it in half and give it a crease, then that tends to help as well. Okay, so now just going to make sure this lines up. Everything is good. And then we're going to stand it up. There we go. All right, we are good. So now we've got a box, basically, right? A pretty big box. It's kind of floppy though. We need something to help it stay in this shape and hold it together. So I've made a box top. And, oh, actually I forgot. I wanted to put one more piece of cardstock on the top of this. So let's see. You know what? I can't help but be really excited about these googly eyes. Or should we do this? We're going to have to cut it down no matter what. We could do this. This is a pretty awesome top. Or I was thinking about the googly eyes. Let me decide, because I forgot to choose what I wanted for the top of my lid. And there's so many good choices. This one is a bit more fun. I love it so much. Yeah, I think I have to go with this because it's really, really cute. And I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm going to put this on top and leave it by itself, but you could add like a little, you know, like handle topper. You could put Happy Halloween on here. You could do lots of stuff with this. This is just kind of showing you the basics of, you know, making a large votive like this and using this awesome die as the cutout part, but you could take this in any kind of direction, right? So I'm going to cut this down, and then we'll put it on our lid and put our lid together and be finished. Okay, I've cut this down. I can just use my regular tape runner. Look, even this side is pretty. Sorry, I'm getting off track here, but even this beautiful plaid is just gorgeous. But anyway, we're still doing googly eyes because I'm in love with it. And I'm just going to make sure I have a good amount of adhesive. I also love this paper because it is so glossy. I mean, it's not like super glossy, but it's got a really nice smooth coating like finish on it, and it's just a little bit glossy, and you just don't see that very often. So I'm really, really enjoying that. All right, so I'm just going to center this on here, and then I'm going to put adhesive on the 4 flaps here. They're going to fold in. Just going to put it on all 4, and then we can build the box lid and put it on top of our votive. And then you can get one of those a little tea light, or even even bigger. This is a really big container, and get the battery powered one, so you don't have to worry about, you know, open flames, because this is paper. I would definitely recommend that. Those, I'm so glad they invented those, because they're just so convenient, you know, and you don't have to worry about you know, you can't obviously put a real flame inside of here, so it makes paper lanterns or votives or things like this possible. But then also you just don't have to worry about the safety of it, you know, because you're covered. So now we put our lid on here, super cute lid. And then we fold this over, and you can see, sorry, flatten that out, and you can see how cool this votive looks. And I'll show you in the pictures in the end of what it looks like with the light shining through it. So that is our project for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope that this project gave you some inspiration. We used the Forest Frame die set from the Maker's Movement, and we used the awesome Tricks and Treats 6x6 paper pad, also from the Maker's Movement. This has been so much fun. If you would like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to me and hitting the bell so you don't miss future videos. And you can always visit the Maker's Movement website for more information and to see more great products that they have. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.